come for a walk with me in beautiful nature in Cornwall on this heat wave while I explore the question as to why modern life can make us women feel so exhausted. Let's go. We are technically more connected than ever, so why do a lot of us feel disconnected, burnt out, exhausted, with hormone dysregulation, digestive issues, and a deep sense of unfulfillment and just like something is missing? And I, like many women, have fallen into the traps of more productivity hacks, maybe going into biohacking, maybe going to the gym more. Supplements are the answer. But I don't think it's the full story whatsoever, and in fact, I feel like those things can do us more harm. Part 1, our environment. How many of you remember the last time you saw the sunrise and the sunset on the same day? Now you might be thinking, Georgia, what has this got to do with anything? We have become so disconnected from our natural rhythm as human beings that we forget that our ancestors, and also every single animal pretty much in the animal kingdom, views and lives under natural light. Whereas we as humans, we are very intelligent and we created electricity. And that has been amazing in so many ways. But in one of the ways that is actually exhausting us is it's confusing our body as to what time it is. And this is important because almost every single cell and biological process in our body runs by the circadian rhythm. Especially your hormones, your sleep, your thyroid, your metabolism, your digestion, all of it, there is a circadian rhythm role to play. This wisteria is stealing the show right now. Can we have a moment to appreciate this wisteria, by the way? It is the most incredible wisteria I have ever come across. When we are under artificial light with LED lighting at night, we can mimic daylight at 1 a.m. This is so confusing to our body and completely can turn our circadian rhythm on its head, which can make us feel really exhausted. Not to mention that these LEDs actually subtly flicker, including your phone screen that you're probably watching this on right now. This can actually put our bodies into a state of low-level fight or flight that you may not even realize. And the thing about our environment is there are so many layers of unnatural things that they all start stacking up onto each other. So something as really small as a flickering LED bulb that you have in your house might seem so small, but when you put that on top of processed foods that make our blood sugar go like this, and all the chemicals burdening our body, and honestly a lot of it shouldn't even be called food. And then we layer on top of that constant notifications, emails, messages, social media, and chronic stress all the time, that our natural baseline of safety and regulation and feelings of peace, ease, joy is not anywhere near where it needs to be. Often, many of you women watching this, the baseline is kind of up here, when actually we need to be more like down here in rest and digest mode far more than we currently are. And this is because our modern environments and the way all the systems are set up are really not catered towards health, vitality, and fertility. And in terms of nature, we're often very disconnected from the seasons, and this can make us exhausted for a very similar reason as our circadian rhythm being disrupted. It's very easy in this modern world to not live seasonally the way pretty much every single animal does, and the way we used to, because there was no choice. We just had to. We ate what grew around in the season. We ate what animals were around. And in winter, if we live in a cold climate, we would have eaten a lot more animal protein and fat because a lot of things grow less in the winter, obviously. But many of us are eating fruits and vegetables shipped from the other side of the world in December. And that's confusing to the body. Our bodies are so intelligent that they adapt in the summer and the winter, in the seasons. For example, in winter, we may not be getting vitamin D like I can get right now, but melatonin is this incredible thing in your body, which you've probably heard, that actually can mimic vitamin D because it binds to the same receptor. We have all of these intelligent systems that we are literally disrupting by free will. Like, we are choosing to disrupt all of these amazing systems that can make us feel so healthy and vital. And it's normal to rest more in the winter, but we don't. And then we wonder why we're so exhausted. One more thing before we go into part 2 is that you may notice I'm barefoot. And this is also something really, really important for us women, and men too, if you're a man watching this, because we are not meant to be disconnected from the earth. We're one of the only animals, if not the only one, that's created shoes. And that has real consequences. And yeah, sure, it really has helped us to walk on terrain that we otherwise wouldn't be, and it's very convenient in other ways. However, there is a cost. And no, it's really not just for the hippies. It really is a very important thing for you and I to do for inflammation, nervous system regulation, a healthy immune system. And now I'm going to dive into part 2, which is about the pressure to do everything. I will get off this swing now because it's probably causing you a little bit of dizziness. We women today are expected to work like men or like robots without any regard to the fact that we have a 28-day female biological cycle called our menstrual cycle, while also trying to staying fit, staying healthy, cooking our food, raising children, being productive, maintaining our romantic relationship, friendships, managing the home. Honestly, the list goes on. Are we robots? Are we? Because that's one reason why we are so exhausted. So the rise of this pressure to kind of do everything, boss babe culture, we don't need no man, we can do it all ourselves, I feel has branched from feminism. So it's more of a modern day feminism. And feminism has, given us a lot of freedom in other ways, but I do feel like it's gone a bit far because we are not meant to do everything alone, and we're certainly not meant to manage all of this. Much like with the rise of electricity, there have been some unintended consequences of modern day feminism and rejecting men, and there is a huge man-hating culture, and I get it. Some men are really immature, if not a lot of them. But that is because this entire system is not supporting both men and women. Men don't have enough strong, healthy, masculine male role models who are mature and strong and gentle all at the same time. But there are a lot of men these days that are actually having a resurgence of this healthy masculine and really trying to take accountability and do the work. And we women, it's our job to recognize that when we see a man, and not just rejecting men in general and always bashing men, because it's okay to not need to do everything ourselves. It is so hard, I know, when we have trust issues and we feel like it's just better if we just do it. But there are healthy, capable men out there that do want to support you, and we need to rely on our friends, our communities, and ask for help. Don't just say you're fine if you're not, because it's totally understandable if you're not, after the entire list that I've mentioned that we are expected to hold together. We do not need to say we're fine, honestly. If you're not, please reach out for support. We humans need to come back together as a community, because otherwise we are exhausted. This hyper-independent boss babe productivity narrative, I feel, needs to be left in another year because it's not serving us. There has never been so much infertility and stress and chronic illness, especially in women, because we tend to just say we're fine and just continue onwards and saying yes to things that we really shouldn't say yes to, when not asking for help when we need to, and that is running our systems into the ground. And I know that there is currently a 9-to-5 work structure, and this is why I work for myself, and it has not been easy by any means to work for myself as a holistic health coach and content creator. But you can get there, and there are so many opportunities and different ways that you can make money online now. And no, I am not talking about selling pictures or videos of yourself in any way. I'm talking about real ways to make a career for yourself in ways that don't have to completely crash and burn your system. Like, I have the luxury to take a few days off on my period and slow down and choose what tasks I want to do that are in alignment with where I'm at in my cycle. And I know not everyone has the luxury to do that, but trust me, I have been there. I've been in the struggle, I've been in the poverty, I've been in the chronic illness, and you can do it too. With the amount of stuff we have to our fingertips, we do not need to be working a 9 to 5 if we don't enjoy it and if it's not serving us. And I get that this is a privileged position to speak in, but if you're watching this video, you likely have a phone or a laptop, and there are so many things that you can do starting today. There is also social media comparison, comparing our lives to other people who look like they've got it all together, like they're perfect, and it's exhausting to feel like we're not there, like we'll never get there. If you haven't understood yet, social media is not reality. There is no point comparing yourself to others. Stay in your lane. Look at the amazing stuff you have around you, even if it's to just marvel at the sun's warmth or the grass swishing in the wind, or even the fact that you have a device in your hand that allows you to watch this video right now. It's insane. It's amazing. So all in all, I don't think ambition or self-sufficiency is bad. I just think that as women, we are chronically unsupported, chronic people pleasers, and not properly putting our health and well-being in any kind of priority. And that leaves us exhausted. Part 4, and I'm going to keep this one brief because I'm coming from a place not of fear here. I'm coming from a place of knowledge so that we have the ability to not stay in ignorance of how our environment is for us. So we are exposed to thousands upon thousands of chemicals that our grandparents or our great-great-grandparents would have never needed to deal with or be exposed to. And by deal with, I mean our liver, our lymphatic system, our digestive system, our brain, trying to deal with all the onslaught of toxins and chemicals. And this is why I say I'm not coming from a place of fear, because I don't want you to fear these chemicals, because in actual fact, stress is one of the most impactful toxins. But what I do want you to be aware of is what's in your shampoos, your perfumes, your body wash, your washing up liquid, your laundry detergents, in your food, so things like pesticides or anything with the word fragrance or parfum in the ingredients list. You need to be aware of, because these do have consequences on our body, like hormonal disruption, because a lot of these chemicals mimic estrogen in our system, and too much estrogen causes things like weight gain, very dysregulated periods, things like PMS, painful periods. And as women, if you didn't know, progesterone is that really feel-good hormone that makes us feel feminine and joyful and relaxed. And when we have too much estrogen, our progesterone is out of whack. And chronic stress, as I mentioned in the previous part, is a huge factor as to why a lot of our progesterone is just not high enough. And these chemicals have a massive contribution to the rising rates of infertility. I personally wash my hair with raw eggs, apple cider vinegar, and rosemary. You don't need to go to those lengths, but there are some very easy swaps that you can do that do not put extra strain on our body and actually nourish us even more. Part 4. I'm going to talk about disconnection and loneliness here, as to why it contributes to us as women feeling exhausted. So any mothers out here know how difficult motherhood is, as well as pregnancy and postpartum. And the levels of postpartum depression and issues are rising exponentially, and I believe this is because there is nowhere near enough support on every single level for us women when we go through pregnancy, give birth, and then motherhood in general. We are not being nourished enough. Our food is ultra processed. We don't eat things like beef organs anymore. And we're told that red meat and eggs and cholesterol is bad for us. We avoid fat because we don't want to get fat. We don't even eat enough protein, and we end up eating plant-based pea protein shakes. There's just not enough nourishment for our bodies to recover, because when you're growing a child inside of you, you are using so many minerals and resources. Not to mention that there is not enough community support afterwards. So we are actually meant to have people, making us meals and supporting us, allowing us rest and taking the load off of us. But often it's just a woman and a husband trying to make it work. And this is not enough support. And sometimes women are even doing this by themselves. Single motherhood. My goodness. Now that is an exhausted woman. This is just not a healthy way for us to be. And for those of you who aren't mothers, I'm not personally a mother myself, but there is a lack of sisterhood in general. So there's a lot of comparison and judgment and shame between us women sometimes, especially with the rise of social media and wanting to appear perfect and put together, and oh, she has this, oh, she's done that. And then you feel inside of you a sense of envy and jealousy and like you're just not good enough. Come on, this is exhausting. And in this dynamic, we also have a fear of vulnerability, like being open with other women, being open with other people, connecting with our families, our friends, our community, and actually being honest and receiving that support and feeling heard and understood is so essential for human health in general. And there's not enough of that. And that goes back to the feeling of having to carry everything alone, because we're not meant to. I'm here to tell you again and again and again, we're not meant to carry this alone. And going on from that point, we also have often a lack of spiritual connection too. So I am someone who believes that there is a lot of things that we can't necessarily see. And many of us have completely lost connection with God. There's been a massive wave of anti-religion, and I totally understand why. I think many churches are totally corrupt. However, that doesn't mean that we can't have a relationship with God outside of organized religion. I am so glad to see that there has been a huge resurgence of people finding God again and reconnecting with the practice of prayer and knowing that we aren't actually alone. Like, if you have never tried praying, just try it and see what happens. So many of us women are carrying an emotional load that we were never meant to carry alone. And that, my friend, is exhausting. Okay, so now you may be thinking, all right, I know why we're so exhausted right now. So Georgia, what on earth do we do about this? Is it just completely hopeless? And I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. So firstly, we need to return to more of our natural biological environment. So how can we do this? The first, most easiest one is natural... Oh, that bird has something to say. Natural light. So getting that morning sunlight, ideally within an hour of the sun rising itself. And yeah, this can get quite early in the summer, so do your best, but make sure you're getting outside in the morning before any artificial light. Open the window and look outside. No sunglasses, no glasses, no contacts, just straight unfiltered light. And no, obviously don't look directly at the sun if it's higher up in the sky. And also sunsets. This is so important as well. These have such healing rays and really help to set our natural body clock. And for us women, slower mornings can be so nourishing for us. So I mean, not just immediately getting up, having your iced coffee, checking your emails, checking social media, checking Instagram, turning on all the bright lights in your bathroom and your kitchen and skipping breakfast, or going to the gym at 5 a.m. That sounds exhausting, me just saying it, honestly. So this looks like taking at least 15 or 20 minutes to go outside if you have a garden or a park near you, or open your window, maybe swap your coffee for a herbal tea, do some grounding, deep breaths, ideally put your bare feet on the ground. Do not open your phone first thing, do not switch on the main lights immediately, if at all, and really give yourself some time in the morning before you jump into your day. And I know this can be challenging if you have young kids, but just do your best and even bring out the children with you to view the natural light. In general, just having much less stimulation those first few minutes before waking. And if you can, even stretch it to 30 or 45 minutes of a more slower pace. Making sure you're really nourishing your body first thing in the morning, not skipping breakfast. This is a really bad idea, especially for your hormones and stress. So having some breakfast with animal protein, not just talking cereal here. We're talking at least 3 eggs, maybe on some sourdough with some broccoli sprouts, or maybe even a bit of steak and cucumbers and beetroot, whatever's in season for some fiber. And do not try to eat loads of raw vegetables. It's really hard for us to digest. Or if you don't really like eating in the morning, some bone broth or some meat broth and veg stock can be really nourishing and hydrating. In general, to just be more mindful of your input. Are you constantly distracting yourself with music, podcasts, movies, TV shows, social media, messages, never spending time alone, always surrounding yourself with friends and family, which can be amazing in all its own ways. But how much are you spending alone, peaceful in nature? And I know this is not always realistic, if you have young kids to take care of and a lot to do, but we really have to carve out that time. Allow your husband or your friends and family to take care of your kids for a day so you can go out and be in nature and peace and nourish yourself. You have to nourish yourself. This is not an optional luxury, because the reality is, if you don't choose to do something about how exhausted you feel, that's so easy to do, there are consequences for that. And that looks like getting a chronic illness down the line, or maybe burning out. Rebuilding community. This is really important in this hyper-independent boss babe world. We need some real friends, authentic friends who we can share with and who say, how are you doing? And you don't feel the need to mask how you're feeling, and you say how you actually feel. And if you need support, people you can rely on to take the load off. We are about collaboration over competition and comparison. Reconnecting spiritually, having a prayer practice, spending time more in silence and in nature, feeling the gratitude for the small things and feeling present in your body in moments. Trying to reduce the toxic chemicals around you that are making your body work harder than it needs to be without you even realizing it. So swapping out some of your products or makeup for something more natural, swapping out your detergents, your soaps for something more natural. It really does make a huge difference. And prioritizing sleep like it is your job. Viewing the sunsets and the sunrises and the daylight and reducing your blue light at night. So turn off your lamps, turn off your bright lights, and swap them with red bulbs or candlelight. And some of these really do not have to be expensive at all. This can really help to give us the rest that we really need. Honestly, I could continue going on and on and on. I have so much to say about all of these things. Every single one of these aspects I could make into an entire video. But in a nutshell, I think that many of us women are feeling chronically exhausted because we were taught that success means to be constantly productive instead of peace and joy and connection and meaning and family. And because we have been told that we need to just do it all ourselves, and maybe we felt that. Maybe we felt in our real life that we can't trust other people and that we just got to do it by ourselves. This is not always the truth. So I ask you, how do you want to redefine what success actually looks like to you? What is meaningful? Not what society says, but what you feel, what is meaningful. And if you are doing things that are actually exhausting you, but you actually don't really care about it if you think about it, it might be time to take a look at our habits and our lifestyle and our thoughts and align them in a way that makes sense for us to not continue feeling exhausted as women in this modern day world. And I know that what I say might be oversimplified for some of you. You have to just do your best with where you are at. And if you do want some more support, you can work with me. I do have some programs that you can go into, and I do have some ebooks as well. So all of those resources will be linked below if you do feel like you need a little bit more extra support. And it is not wrong to ask for help. It does not make you weak in any of the slightest. In fact, we are stronger together. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.